Debate here on Fox, with political outsiders making the biggest gains. But Carly Fiorina quick to point out that the polls, well, they don't always mean all that much.
And if you go back in every presidential election, the polls, the pundits, the money, the media all said that Ronald Reagan couldn't win and Jimmy Carter couldn't win and Bill Clinton couldn't win and Barack Obama couldn't win, and they all won. And they won because voters decided they should win.
So Donald Trump rising 5 percentage points, Dr. Ben Carson jumping a whopping 15, Senator Marco Rubio getting a 1-point boost, Carly Fiorina gaining 2. Joining me now, Larry Sabato, Director of Center for Politics, University of Virginia. All right, so when we look at this poll and we compare them, Larry, between before the debate, the first debate, and now, I mean, it's pretty obvious. The outsiders have gone up. The insiders, the establishment, have gone down.
Absolutely. Nobody's fallen further than Jeb Bush and Scott Walker. They're the two that really have to make a comeback tonight if they're going to. I tell you, though, Carly Fiorina was right about this. It's very important to remember that the reality today probably won't be the reality come February 1st and February 10th when Iowa and New Hampshire vote. You know, the 2012 cycle, you had 4 or 5 frontrunners on the Republican side at one time or another. Back in 2000, a majority of the caucus participants in Iowa voted for outsiders, people who had never held public office, like Steve Forbes.
Right, exactly. Alan Keyes, Steve Forbes, and Gary Bauer back in Iowa in 2000 had more than half of the support of Republican voters at that time. But look at what, okay, so there it is on your screen right there. Look at what ended up happening, though. George W. Bush ended up winning the Iowa Republican caucus with 41%. So I guess what you're saying is that Carly Fiorina may be onto something, that whoever is surging in the beginning, it doesn't always turn out that way. I want to go back, though, to the fact that Jeb Bush has basically cratered down now to 6%, Scott Walker down to 8%. Is this do or die for them tonight?
I don't think one moment is absolutely do or die. And remember, Jeb Bush has got, $120 million to spend. He's already committed $24 million to TV ads just between now and the end of this year. It will be far more than the other candidates are able to spend, probably as much as all of them will spend together. So, you can't ignore the influence of money in these contests. And Scott Walker has a fair amount saved, nothing close to Bush.
All right, so the last thing that I want you to look at is, again, this whole outsider phenomenon. Who do Republicans want as president? Experience in the political system, 36%. From outside the political establishment, 58%. So I guess my question to you, Larry, is in previous years where you saw these outsiders surging in the beginning, did those polls also match up with people wanting to see somebody from the outside?
I don't think there was as strong a sentiment for outsiders as there is this year, because remember, Republicans are angry not just at President Obama. They don't agree with much of what he's done. They're also angry at their own leaders in Congress because they believe not much has been accomplished there in limiting Obama's powers or agenda. So there's a kind of a universal anger that I think is manifesting itself in these numbers. But believe me, Gretchen, things will change. The only constant is change.
I've heard that before in my many years. All right, Larry Sabato, we'll see you again soon. Thanks.